It's late. The kids are asleep. The dishes are done. And at the kitchen table, under the one light still on in the apartment, a woman is doing the math she does every night. Rent, power, bus fare, groceries, subtract, 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 until there's nothing left to subtract from. $2,000 a month for these 4 walls. Walls with a crack by the window. A neighborhood she'd leave tomorrow if she could. A school down the street she prays her son outgrows before it shapes him. This is the part nobody films. The quiet math of just barely making it. Then one day, a letter comes in the mail, and on the page inside is a single number that changes everything. 2,000 becomes 600. The rent that was swallowing her whole just got cut in half. The paycheck that used to vanish overnight finally has somewhere to land. For the first time in longer than she can remember, the math doesn't end in zero. It ends in room. Room to save, room to plan. Room to imagine her kid growing up somewhere else entirely. They call it Section 8, the largest rental aid program in America. And what it's offering her in black and white is a way out. So she takes the letter and she goes looking. For the better street, the safer block, the door she spent years waiting to walk through, she finds the place, she makes the call, and the door doesn't open. Not because she can't afford it. She can now. The money was never the wall, but the wall is still there. She can feel it, standing between her and every word that letter promised. How do you hand someone the key to a better life and watch them stay locked outside it? That's the question this story turns on, and the answer isn't in the rent. It's hidden somewhere stranger, in waiting lists that run not for weeks but for years, in landlords who say no before she finishes the sentence, in a fence around her choices that nobody mentioned when they handed her the key. Because here's the truth they don't print on the brochure. Cheap rent on paper and a real home in a better place are two completely different things. And the distance between them, that's where these families spend their lives. Hey, it's CJ, the creator of this channel. Making YouTube videos has been easier than it is today thanks to topic2video.com. I created this software from scratch and used it to build this channel and monetize the video you're watching right now. Try it for free at topic2video.com. Back to the video. Let's start with the promise, because the promise is real. Section 8 is a federal program. The official name today is the Housing Choice Voucher. Here's how it works in plain terms. A low-income family finds a place to rent. The government pays part of the rent straight to the landlord. The family pays the rest, usually about 30% of what they earn. Families can use it on a single-family home, a townhouse, or an apartment. The whole point, written into the program's purpose, is to help low-income families improve the quality of their housing and move to better neighborhoods. So a mom working 2 jobs isn't trapped paying 80% of her paycheck just to keep a roof overhead. The rent becomes survivable. That's the dream the program is selling. And for millions of people, that dream is the difference between stable and homeless. So if the money problem gets solved, why does actually using this thing feel like climbing a wall? That's the real story. The first wall is time. Before a family ever sees $1 of help, they have to get on a waiting list. And these lists are not short. In many cities, the wait isn't weeks or months, it's years. Some lists are so long that they close completely and stay closed because there's no point adding more names to a line that already stretches past the horizon. Picture what that does to a family. You apply, then you wait, not knowing if your turn comes in 2 years or 6. You can't plan around it. You can't count on it. You're living in limbo, stuck in a place you're trying to leave, while the help you were promised sits somewhere out of reach. That's crazy. A program built to give families stability starts by making them live with years of uncertainty. The benefit exists. Access to it does not, at least not yet. And that gap between the promise and the moment it actually arrives is the first thing that turns cheap rent on paper into something much harder to hold. Say the wait finally ends, the letter arrives, you've got your voucher. Now you're free to choose, right? Not exactly. Now comes the second wall, the search. The voucher only works on a unit that qualifies, and only with a landlord who's willing to take it. The home has to pass an inspection for safety and basic quality. The rent has to fall under a limit the program sets for your area, and the landlord has to agree to the paperwork, the inspections, and the waiting that come with government money. Here's the catch. Plenty of landlords just say no. In a hot rental market, where someone else will pay full price tomorrow with no inspection and no forms, a voucher can feel like more hassle than it's worth. So a family with a voucher in hand starts calling and hearing, no, no, we don't take that here. No, the word on the program is choice. You can choose your home, but it's choice inside a fence. You can only pick from units that are cheap enough, safe enough, and run by a landlord willing to play along. In an expensive city, that fence can squeeze the real options down to almost nothing, often in the exact neighborhoods the family was hoping to leave behind. Now, why does it matter so much which fence you're stuck inside? Why not just take whatever unit says yes and call it a win? Because the neighborhood isn't just a backdrop. For a child, it might be the single biggest economic decision in their life, and they don't even get a vote. Check this out. Economists ran a real experiment called Moving to Opportunity. They took families living in high poverty housing projects and offered some of them vouchers to move to lower poverty neighborhoods. Then they followed the kids for years, using actual tax records to see how their lives turned out. The results were striking. Children who moved to a lower poverty neighborhood while they were young, under the age of 13, grew up to earn significantly more money. They were more likely to attend college. As adults, they lived in better neighborhoods themselves, and they were less likely to become single parents. That's crazy, right? Same kid, same family, same effort. Change the few square miles they grow up in, and you change their entire financial future. The address on the lease quietly turns into a paycheck 20 years later. So that fence around a family's choices isn't just an inconvenience. It can decide how much a child earns for the rest of their life. Knowing all that, you'd think every family would grab the chance to move. But the move itself carries a price the voucher never covers. Think about everything a family is actually weighing. The kids are settled in school with friends and teachers who know them. Mom's job is a 15-minute bus ride from the current place. Grandma lives around the corner and watches the kids for free, which is the only reason the job is even possible. Move to a better neighborhood across town and you might lose the school, the short commute, and the free childcare all at once. So the family faces a brutal trade. Stay and keep the support system that holds daily life together. Move and gamble that the better neighborhood pays off years down the road while the bills get harder right now. This is the family economics of Section 8. The housing choice isn't really just about housing. It reshapes work, school, childcare, and the web of people a family leans on. And notice what's happening. A housing rule written in an office far away is now steering the most personal decisions a family makes, where the kids grow up. Whether mom can keep her job, whether the family stays close or spreads out. The voucher opened a door, but walking through it costs more than rent. Before you go, I want to share something. I make $30 to $50 per day on YouTube thanks to a tool I built called topic2video.com. It took 2 months of posting, but I did it and you can too. I never made money on YouTube before this, so you don't have to be an expert to start. All you need is an idea. Get started for free at topic2video.com today.